All right, it's the rundown. Where am I looking? That one? All right, whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. It's the rundown. It's brought to you by Movement Watches. You know the drill. One of the OG sponsors of all the podcasts. Everyone on the podcast network has preached the good word of Movement Watches. $500 watches. They look like they're $500 watches. Only $95. They have
important distinction.
Very important distinction. Looks like $500. Doesn't cost $500. They've got the light faces, the dark faces, the leather bands, the metal bands, all sorts of different styles, all sorts of different materials. All of them from between $95 and $130 bucks. So you're not going to break the bank, but you're going to look fresh. They've got sunglasses. They've got other accessories to match, and none of it will hurt your wallet. So go to mvmt.com/rundown. You get 15% off your next order, plus free shipping and free returns if you need to send anything back, but you're not gonna because you're going to like it. mvmt.com/rundown. Trill is in. Feits is in.
I've been anxious already because I wish I was doing push-ups because I'm going to fight Tommy in a second.
Yeah, Tommy's an idiot. A lot of people are stupid. I'll tell you what's stupid. I'll tell you what's stupid. This entire fucking company. You can see that we are basically doing the rundown in a hallway now because the set that we designed is too nice.
Can I have one of the TVs?
We just have
we're just gonna trash it.
Like too nice. It's just a fucking TV and like two cabinets and a carpet. If that's too nice, it's TVs, cabinets, and a carpet. That's too nice for you guys.
That whole set.
Chairs don't move. Like they couldn't.
Yeah, my shit's not plugged in. That whole set costs $600.
Yeah, I mean, what's too nice about this? What are
Way
you
too
talking
nice.
about here? I cannot.
I have no idea what
I will
TVs
never
cost,
understand the people.
So you have no idea what 6 TVs cost?
I don't know. I have no idea. Like,
Yeah, it's probably a little more than $600,
Yeah.
but it's not.
I feel like TVs cost $100.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Those ones are probably like $250.
Okay. Whatever that math is, because I don't know.
I don't care. It could be the most beautiful set in the world. Who fucking cares? We're the same. We're the
Yo,
same fucking
shout out
morons.
Blackout Tour, man. This is throwback.
You gotta earn that, kid. You've been here a couple years, but you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta earn that.
Yeah, you still, like, Dave doesn't know anybody's name still. We're still fucking dumb. It doesn't matter where we do it. We're idiots, so you put us here, you could put us on the moon, we're still gonna be the same old morons. I can't believe, like, why even do this? Why even build this whole fucking place? Just keep all the money and give it to us. If we're gonna record in a hallway, why don't you give me $1 million and we'll record in a hallway? Right? Why even build this fucking place? How stupid.
It's a fair point.
How stupid is that? Build a new fucking office and don't use it because like 2 assholes complained. Fuck this place. We'll start with Game of Thrones. It's a toss-up between the NBA and Thrones because NBA had its own dramatics.
Yeah.
But you're right because, I mean, I didn't even consider watching the end of Philly Raptors over Game of Thrones. I was upset I missed that buzzer beater, but it wasn't a question to me watching the second to last episode of Game of Thrones. Very... As every episode, highly debated, highly contentious. I
think that if you're debating it now, you're stupid. You should accept what it is.
I agree.
It's entertaining.
I have lowered my bar.
Is it though?
It's entertaining and it doesn't make sense.
You're not even giving it that. You're not even saying.
Well, I think that's what the people are pissed at. They're like, "Is it entertaining? This shit don't make sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't add up.
There's a lot of
It's
fire.
rushed.
If there's a lot of fire, it's
Now this episode, like, aesthetically was beautiful.
Awesome.
Right.
Drogon was wrecking shit.
So cool.
But like the story,
The shot, the Clegane Bowl, with the dragon flying by.
Again.
No, wait,
why
keep it
is
cool.
Drogon? Why can he not get hit by anything?
Keep it cool.
Drogon was just running the show.
He was wrecking
Hang
shit,
on,
yeah.
just relax. Keep it cool. You don't want to get too fired up because you have to just lower your bar now. I used to
But
judge.
look, all the other
That's really
dragons get
how it
killed
instantly.
immediately.
Yeah.
My big gripe.
Drogon was flying all over the city.
We can talk about how quickly Dany like descended. We can talk about any other plot holes you
That
want.
made no fucking sense.
Going into that episode, I never once thought of the good guys as like the overwhelming favorite. Like Tyrion right off the bat was like, yo, when they start surrendering, call off the dogs. I was like, we're talking about surrender?
Right.
I mean, I remember thinking going into it, the Golden Company, the Iron Fleet, the Scorpion machines,
They were the most
They have, like,
Cersei
10
sitting pretty,
Scorpions,
the
yeah.
Red Keep, the fortified walls. I was thinking like she's the favorite. And then all of a sudden they just flipped the switch where the dragons became what they should have been all along.
Well,
So
my thing was-
in essence, the dragons did what they were supposed to do. But after
One of them did, yeah.
right,
One.
but
Right.
after several episodes and like a season and a half of the dragons failing, 3 when they had 3, they couldn't get shit done. Now they have 1, and all of a sudden it's this unstoppable machine. Now I know you could say, well, Daenerys finally like embraced her Targaryen and said, "Fuck it, let's burn it." Like maybe she's now using the dragon the right way. But they went in my mind, like an underdog. Their army had been depleted. Their leadership is in disarray. 2 dragons down, and they won instantly.
Well, see, I wonder,
Instantly.
like, how the hell did they get out of the jam from last episode?
Right.
Like, Mercedes did, like, did they just
They
agree
just
to go?
take Uber back home and like start
Cersei,
over?
Yeah, Cersei was like, okay, yeah, no, you guys.
But that's where I
still
don't
too
nitpick
injured.
that shit
last
anymore.
episode because she should have just killed them then.
I know. Well, that was where
There were 12 of them.
There
were not 2 basketball teams there. With
That's
Danny.
where I was like, and this is the time where Cersei's like, okay, guys, let's all just.
We'll play by the rules.
Cooler minds
Yeah.
will prevail.
The
Yeah.
rules of engagement.
engagement,
I think
yeah.
don't kill them.
But that's where
Fucking kill
that
them.
kind of stuff I'm not going to nitpick anymore because it's clear they are not doing that. They're not going to give you those answers. There are going to be plot holes. There are going to be inconsistencies. There are going to be things that don't make sense. It's now like you're just watching any old TV show. It's still a better
With a
TV
lot
show
of
than
fire.
most.
I think
Yeah.
fire.
You know what the biggest indictment for me is? If you think about it, you could watch this season on its own, and it would play out. You would get it.
You'd be like, it's an okay
It's
show.
an okay like
I thought
action
the
movie with
Game
a
Bowl
little
was great.
bit. You know,
Yeah.
there's
I thought
nothing
they
for the
smashed
first
that.
7 seasons that really matter.
I feel like that, like in watching this all, like binging it once this is all done. I feel like once you get to like 8, you'll be like, this is like a different show. Like you
Absolutely.
said, like this feels like a different show.
I
than
will
episode
not
7.
recommend this show to anybody.
Yeah, when you know it's like Lost. When the payoff is this bad, it's like, well, there was some really really awesome moments.
Like,
but when they don't
Lost
wrap it
is
up
still
right,
talked about, but Lost is only talked about in the sense that
They
they
fucked
fucked it up.
ending,
Yeah.
yep.
That's what Thrones is.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
Sopranos
fucked it up.
too. The only thing
Fucked it up.
Sopranos now is people like that hated the ending. I know some people liked it,
See,
but
I
a lot of people
haven't
hate it.
seen Sopranos, but I feel like that one's more debatable.
Well, you know
Right.
what they're smart
I
about
think this is
too.
pretty universal. Like,
Oh yeah,
you
no.
fucked it up.
Yeah.
The Thrones also is fucked up by releasing like press statements every time somebody doesn't like something. The CGI
Right, yeah.
dogs
Right,
and
right.
the like the Sopranos, they didn't say a fucking word. And it was just
Right,
like
yeah,
it is
take
what
it
it
or leave
is.
it, yeah.
It's art.
They're almost when you respond, it's like responding to a troll. They know that they kind of struck a nerve. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you feel the need to put out a press release, you're probably like, oh yeah, we did fuck that up. I
mean, like
I have no
Jamie and
problem.
Cersei's death.
Well, okay, so Cersei's
felt
death I
weak.
think is interesting because I
It
don't
felt
think it
weak.
was I don't think it was satisfying.
Yeah.
It wasn't satisfying at all.
But it makes sense. Like the Night King was just stupid. They didn't give you anything.
Yeah.
Whereas Cersei, it's like she died in the arms of like with the guy that she tried to take on the world with and couldn't do it. It all crumbled in on her. Symbolic. It's poetic. It's all that shit. Now, do you want it to be that? Probably
Yeah.
not. But that's the route they went.
No,
I'm okay with that.
I don't think
I
it
mean,
makes sense for
Cersei-
Jamie. Yeah.
Cersei needed a horrible death. First of all, I thought Jamie died. I was going to be pissed about that one too.
You're on.
But, like,
You're on
Cersei
Rachel is the
needed
biggest
to make
waste
it
of
there. Yeah,
Cersei
that made
needed
me
something
ever.
gruesome.
Yeah.
She, like,
What you know? What I would have
Cersei's
been
the
problem.
worst person to ever live. My favorite person to ever live.
Yeah.
But the
Cersei
worst
is,
person to ever live.
I would have had no problem if it crumbled on her and then you saw a little bit more. Like if she was like pinned under a rock and
Well,
she
like,
was
that's the thi-
suffering and crying
Like
and scared
those
and
two
dying.
Varys, like we had like 4 major deaths and you didn't really see any of them.
Yeah,
Which
that's
feels
true.
like
I wish
Robb
Varys
Stark
got
like you saw them like die. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you
Like I
it's
wanted,
implied.
because he deserves something different. Like she's burned so many people. I wanted Varys to be like bit in half.
Yeah.
I
Or
actually
shown get cooked. Or
I did like the Clegane Bowl. I thought that
Oh,
one
that
was
was awesome.
good.
Yeah,
That was the only
But-
thing I think there's. I haven't seen anybody say that was bad.
Right.
The way it
I
looked
like
was cool. I thought the way that they it was kind of a tie basically.
Yeah.
I think the Hound won that fight, but they both burned in the
Right.
end.
Which
He
is what he
pushed
really
him into
won.
fire
So,
the way.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's some symbolism there. I think it had its moments, but overall I thought Cersei's death, while making sense, was a little bit like, oh, okay, well she's gone now. I thought the fact that they rolled with the dragon was way too easy. And I think that while Dany going Mad Queen makes sense, and they've been teasing that all along, it went real quick. She went
they
0
have
to
what they
100 real
haven't.
quick. Yeah.
They have what they haven't. Like yeah, everyone expected it. It wasn't unexpected, but it still doesn't make sense.
Right.
For her to
Like,
be
to
like
just do
burning
that.
What's the
children
point
is a
of
bit much.
what's the point of Euron?
Oh,
now
he had
I'm like,
no.
it was like, what's the point?
That
now?
looking back, that is going to be the main thing. That's like, why did we waste any time ever talking about him at
Yeah.
all? And
And
I
I
know
said-
people say in the book he was more like he was crazier
Yeah, they say he was
and
like a
more
legit
imposing.
character in the book.
I
But
don't
well,
care
then
about the
then
Make
write
him
it that
not-
way on the
or
TV
leave him
show.
out. Right. Or
Absolutely.
leave him- yeah, I do
And
agree
I mean
with
the
that.
fact that like Euron and Jaime just like stumble upon each other on that beach, like I mean, I'm not gonna worry about that because they clearly are rushing. They're clearly
Yeah.
trying to get to the finish line. But some stupid people think it was the best episode of all time.
Tommy, make your point.
All right,
Of
well,
all time.
I want to hear the. I
let
want
me
to hear Smoke's case.
where did I stand?
Roll yourself into the
Yeah, come on
hallway
in.
here.
Smoke.
Let me address a little bit point by point. First
You're
of
doing a hell
all,
of a job.
all right.
I
You
hope
were
that.
talking.
Oh
Yeah,
Jesus
there you go.
Oh boy.
Christ!
Ah boy.
Jesus Christ! Who
moved the
invited
camera.
this guy?
Studio's
Well,
too
you
nice
did.
for
You
you
said to
guys.
roll over here.
Fucking A.
First, as for the point on the dragons, like
Okay.
they're dragons. It's not
It's true.
crazy that they destroyed a city. They have been effective
Right.
before in
Not
No, it's
like
not
that.
crazy to destroy a city.
No, the
It's
spoils
crazy
of
that
war,
two
they were
died
good.
so
In
easily.
Marine, they were good. One of them got taken out by a fluke thing from the Night King, and the other one, they
taken
got
out
snuck
by
up
the
on.
same exact.
Right,
They
but
snuck
they
up
snuck
on
up on
them.
They
this
were
time. This time
flying,
she
so
knew
I
what
don't
she
know
was
if
doing.
snuck
Once
up
she,
on
let's
them.
be,
once she
let's be
had the
careful, snuck
fire
up.
to get out all the arrows, it was game over. There's nothing else that could stop them besides the arrows. So she was more prepared this time,
Scorpions.
knew how to direct it, took out all the arrows with the fire, and then it's just game over. There's nothing else that could stop her.
You're right.
As for Cersei's death, I think the fact that you just said, oh, she's the most hated person ever is why her death was good. Like, you didn't even get a satisfying death out of her. She's that hateable that you can't even like her
That's a
death.
cop-out.
Tommy,
No,
I
she's
will
that
accept
good of a
this
villain.
thing
That was
I've
stupid.
ever
That was a
heard.
dumb
Smokes, I was
point.
listening,
I will-
baby.
I
You
will
almost had
accept,
me.
I think that they made Dany go like bad. I thought that they humanized Cersei at the end there. She looked like sad. She looked terrified. I want my baby to live. Kind of going back to the whole idea that nobody is fully black or white on this show. That was dumb.
Well, it
No,
also
but
made
the whole
Jaime's
point
work
with
for
everyone, the
nothing.
whole
I don't
series
think they
was
got
like,
meta with it. And they were like, let's
Everything
make
he did the past
Cersei's
couple
death
seasons, like, Mother
so
Brain
bad
trying to
that
save
nobody
what
ever has a
meant
good word
nothing.
to
He
say.
But the
Right
whole
back to
point was
Cersei.
that, oh, I
They
can't
set
wait
that
to
up
see
for
Cersei
That's
die
what
for
I
8
thought.
seasons. I can't wait to see Cersei die. I can't wait to see Cersei die. And she's such a good
both.
villain that you don't even get
No,
a
no, no.
satisfying
That's
way
way
to see her
too
die.
meta.
But I think the
That's
red,
way
like
too meta.
she said earlier in the episode, the Red Keep has never collapsed. It then literally collapsed on her
That
and
I'm
killed
fine
her.
with.
She dies in Jaime's arms, kind of fulfills the prophecy a little bit, sort
Brother's
of.
arm
No,
wrapped around
fuck
your
prophecies. Fuck prophecies.
They have kind of
If
abandoned
you've
all the
abandoned all
process.
prophecies, don't tell me a prophecy.
All right, well, whatever. I'm not, but
you
that
don't
could
want
be
to pretend
true.
on
And then
prophecies in this show?
Jamie, like I think that was a good way for him to
Like,
go.
oh, they fulfilled
Jaime
the
didn't do
prophecy.
anything bad that
They
episode.
fucking ignored 100 of them.
Jamie didn't do anything bad that episode. People are like, oh, that just threw out his whole character arc. His one flaw has always been that he loves Cersei.
I have
He
no
didn't do
problem with that.
anything
I'm cool
wrong
with
that
that.
episode.
No,
but
you're
loves
right.
Cersei.
You're
I
right.
think people who thought he was going to go back to kill her.
I think that would have been better.
I think that
I
him,
did think that,
I
honestly.
think him
I
having
thought
like
They spent so
But
much
that's
time
the
fixing
point, is that
Jaime's
it was another
character.
twist.
I'm a hateful
Everyone
person,
thought-
and I
yeah,
thought it was
I'm
gonna
okay
hate
with
her.
thought- yeah.
Jamie being
That's
like,
what I
this
thought.
is the one. I mean, it's his
Right.
sister. You shouldn't be with her to begin with. She's terrible. It's
I
not.
feel like back then it was kind of okay though, right?
Yeah, but I just, in general, it was like, this is the one girl he can't like ever shake.
So
basically.
few people to pick from.
For real. I mean, by the way, had Jon Snow
Just
just smashed,
logistically, I'm really-
if Jon had just fucking
Like,
hit that,
there are like
none of this
3
happens.
rich
That's really
people
all
in the
this is.
world. Like, you're gonna fuck a poor person. That's disgusting.
Somebody from Flea Bottom? Yeah. Yeah.
All the pretty people are all from the same DNA,
Right,
so it
like,
makes sense.
well,
I mean,
yeah.
had he fucked Dany, none of this happens.
Okay, so Smokes, what do you make? Like, what was Euron's point? What was the entire point?
Yeah, that I'm not sure. But, like, I mean, yeah.
So you
but
like,
he
so you think it's one of the best ever?
Well, just one. I think you honestly have to either hate the episode or love the episode. It was such an eventful episode, one of the most defining episodes. You either have to love how it went or hate it.
I found it very entertaining. I think it stunk. I think it stunk. Like
Why?
Like I think like storytelling it was bad.
Story-wise.
Why? What else?
Like,
This-
I
the
just
direct-
think the story doesn't make sense for me.
Like what parts?
Like Dany doesn't make
But
sense.
that's been there the whole time. She's,
No, it
she's
hasn't.
literally
It's a
said,
quick
"I'm
jump.
gonna
No,
burn
no.
cities to the ground."
Quick
She's
jump.
done it every
season
year.
one,
Yeah.
season
But
two.
she's her whole for 7 seasons. She's been freeing people.
But
She's
she's
just
also
lighting a ton
been
of people
she's
on fire
also
now?
been saying, "I want to burn people," and she's always had
No,
people
she hasn't
there
been saying
to.
that.
She has.
Well,
She's
she
had
burns
little
people
approach.
She
to
has
free
said it, but
people,
like, it hasn't
yeah.
been her mission.
Right, but she's had people to stop her from doing it. And here, everyone around her has died. There's a quote from Master Aemon Targaryen being like, "The scariest thing in the world is a Targaryen
by
on their
itself,
own."
yeah.
She was finally on her own, and there was nobody to
There-
stop her
there-
from
there
acting
is,
on her
like,
worst impulse.
You can point to certain things, but it just went into. I'm more on your side where it's like I think that this was inevitable that we went mad. Queen,
Everyone knew it was coming,
but it went
wasn't
hyper fast.
explained
Well, I
properly.
agree, but it did. They probably could have spent more time, but they only had 6 episodes, and I think it's
That's
unfair
why
to
it's- that was
blame.
Another one of
their
their
choice.
mistakes, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's unfair to blame the showrunners for that. This is
No,
clearly
They're the ones who wanted
It's
to.
their choice.
I'm not
Everybody
blaming
else
George
wanted more
R. Martin.
episodes.
Right.
That's what I'm
But
not gonna
thi-
George
this
wanted
se-
12.
Oh,
All
I
the
mean,
actors
you
said
can't
they're
blame them
down.
for like this is how her story ended. I think no matter like this
Yes,
was a
but
George
to
R. R.
get
Martin
there
decision.
It was
is
everyone knew it was coming
important.
here.
Right.
Right.
But it wasn't the dots didn't connect on the way.
I mean, I think if you rewatch it from season 1 through season 8 and you think, all right, this is what's going to happen, it would make more sense. On like
No,
a
I
rewatch.
mean I rewatched it to start this season, and there were a lot of things I noticed on the way that I didn't, and this wasn't one that was like glaring.
See, that was one of them when I was rewatching. Was like, man, Dany kind of sucks. That was one I took away.
I've been driving the fucking Dany sucks train the longest, but
Yeah.
I can admit her character like devolving was like a steady decline, and then whoop, we're burning women and children, at like complete reckless abandon.
She's not good at
I'm fine
rolling
with it.
people.
The-
who
the
don't
whole
I
get
wish
it.
she would have did that from day one. That would have saved.
Then
like,
she
a
would have been
lot.
That's why
Cersei.
I love Cersei.
That's what Cersei is.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a fuck.
So it's like, oh, I'm gonna
If
kill
you
you.
would do it from day like.
Yes. Oh,
But
the
it just,
band-aid.
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone reaches their snapping point, and she just hit hers.
Yeah, but it went. You
But
know,
what
you don't
was it?
snap to become like a.
It was her, everyone
murder of
around her
children that
dying,
fast.
like nobody
Yeah.
being there for her, and
But what they
her
needed
realizing
was
she could never
more.
be a
There were
loved
more
one.
episodes.
John,
If
there
you
wasn't
saw
like a clear
if you
snap
saw
to
I think it was
many
just a lot
episodes
of
of her
stuff.
being like, Gerard's dead, my dragons are dead, John doesn't want me anymore. All of that shit like leading up and her
Imagine being
becoming
so upset.
more and
like,
more.
You light kids on fire because your nephew doesn't want to fuck you.
But if they had episodes of that, like you saw her in the very beginning, she looks like haggard, she's upset. That was like, okay, now I'm Breaking Bad. It's too fast.
but that's the Targaryens. They're crazy. Just one thing snaps and they become absolutely mad.
I think that if this argument wouldn't be happening had they done it correctly.
Okay, so does John snap too? Since he's not a Stark, he's not a Snow, he's a
Well, no,
Targaryen,
you
right?
flip a coin with the Targaryens. His is
See,
good.
He's the good
I
one.
think there's so many like plot points that are just people either use them or don't use them because it's easier that way. Where it's like, well, it's a Targaryen, so he can go crazy. Oh,
Well, some
not all
Targaryens go
Targaryens
crazy.
do.
He's also though half like he's
same-
half
it's the same
Stark.
shit with
The
Bran,
Targaryens
like,
are all
they
products
don't
of
use
incest.
Bran.
That's why they're so crazy. He's
Bran
not
is so
incest.
useful. No one ever uses Bran.
That
He's
I agree
just
with. Bran better do something really
So
cool
Bran,
next
everyone's saying
episode.
Bran's the horse that shows up at the end.
That'd
to
be the
save
dumbest
Arya.
shit ever. If Bran's that fucking horse, I'm gonna be
I-
pissed.
Yeah, that I didn't get.
I'll be
Yo,
furious.
is it not better though than her and the horse just surviving the Holocaust like that? Like, I would rather there be an explanation for the only two living things that survived this massive fire attack is just like, oh, this horse and Arya.
Just me and my brother as a horse.
I swear they did it. I swear they did it for the Old Town Road memes. The amount of got the horses were just fucking. All of it is like, okay.
I mean,
It's
I
all
don't know.
fine.
I
I had
think
fun watching that show.
the season.
It's
Well, that's
not
the
good.
point of TV. Part of it is like it made you had fun. It closed up character arcs. It was awesome to watch, like visually and whatever.
Yeah,
The
visually was
dragons,
awesome.
the shots of the sky. I agree. The start of the season I didn't like that much, but I think Battle of Winterfell still is a disappointment. But I think this redeemed it a lot.
All right, well, those are
Those
two
are my
sides.
points.
Those are the two sides of the
I
argument.
disagree. But
I'm somewhere in between. I do.
it
I
was
think it's
fun. I
actually
had
possible
fun.
to
I
be-
do not regret
Yeah.
watching the
Yeah.
show. But
Are
Like,
you
if you
totally
think
out
about
on the
it.
season?
No, I'm not totally, but if I'd watched it like since day one, I think I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
Yeah,
It's a bit
I
frustrating.
understand that
A
side.
bit frustrating. I watched from season 2 on. I was like real time, and it's.
I think episode 2.
I just accepted it though. I
still-
think most of the internet's now coming around. Like some of the other Game
Yeah,
of Thrones
now,
podcasts are
we
very
always get
upset.
yelled
I'm like,
at.
well, now I've accepted it. Now I'm like, now I can
You're
just
good
watch
with
it for
it.
what it's worth. You know.
Kevin and I very often get yelled at for being contrarians, and like now I'm mad that everyone's on our side because it was like
now we're
like,
going full
episode
contrarian
3 was
here.
like
Yeah,
you're a
that's
Boy, the crowd
contrarian.
wolf, yeah.
And I'm like no, it's
No,
just
but
dumb.
it is
now
tough.
everyone's like it stinks. I'm like
It is tough
"Ugh,
when everybody's.
maybe you're right. This is good.
Yeah, you might be a contrarian, John. You really might be one. I think
Episode
it's-
2 was great. I still love episode 2.
No, because well,
Wait,
think-
so is there
and then,
anything
like,
that could
you know
happen
what-
in
you
the
know what
finale
sucks?
that would bring like both of y'all back?
what would bring me back? I don't think you
Like
can.
in the finale.
No,
is there
no,
anything?
no,
Like
no.
nothing. Like
I mean-
no possibility.
It'll be fine, but I don't think you can ever recapture that. It was like great storytelling and like the right
Yeah.
pace and the right tone and all that shit.
The most
you
telling
know what?
thing
Euron
that-
doesn't matter at all, and now that whole thing with Bronn doesn't matter at all. I thought that was one of the best scenes.
Yeah, well, that was Bronn. I
and it
forgot
was
about
just
that.
like, well,
forgot
okay,
all
she's
about
dead
that.
now, so that whole like contract
Right.
for hire is okay.
I feel like they're creating more questions and then not answering it.
You're making it
what-
harder on
that- yeah,
yourselves.
that's what people don't
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
The
They're really doing it Lost style.
it's not good.
I forgot all about Brian.
Stinks.
Yikes.
Well, I don't know. We'll be back to do this in a week, and then we'll never have to do it again. I almost want it to end so I don't have to fucking.
Like
do
is
it anymore.
Sansa gonna like? Are we ever gonna see Sansa again?
I think Sansa's gonna win. I think Sansa's gonna sit on the throne in the end.
I think they melt the throne. I think
You know
Jon
what?
melts the
I don't
throne.
even
down
give a
there.
I
fuck
think
who
he
no
melts,
sits
sits
yeah,
on
like
it.
nobody. I think
See that?
somebody
I
melts
don't
the
care
throne.
who sits on the throne.
That's why I think John melts because I like whoever wins after all we've
Well,
seen. Who
that's,
cares?
the only
Like,
thing I think is interesting is that I kept thinking to myself, once the Night King was gone, what is Jon Snow's motivation going to be? Because he cared about like fighting for the living,
Right.
And now,
and now
he's-
Dany's such a fucking psychopath that he's got to protect women and children again.
Right.
So now at least he can kind of be like in the mix again and be motivated again. But other than that, like how are they physically going to kill Dany? Like is Jon Snow going to chop her up with a sword?
It's got to be Arya, right?
How is it physically going to go
No,
down?
they say
it
that-
has to be Jon. Jon
They
has
say
to
the-
kill
the
someone.
green eye shit.
Yeah. But then it's like, are we
It's gotta be
playing by
Jon.
the prophecy
I
rules?
was gonna say
Like,
that if they're going
Yo,
by
they
that,
don't care about prophecies. They don't care
I
about.
feel like sometimes they do like that would
Sounds
be
like
a
he's
very
drunk at the
Thronesy
bar
thing to
arguing,
do
right?
this season.
Oh, you don't care about prophecies.
I I'm so furious about everything about the show.
I think it makes a lot more sense, like, physically to have, like, Arya kill her.
No,
like,
John has to kill
If John
somebody.
just, like, dominates Danny with a broadsword, that's kind of crazy.
If John
Right?
does not
Kills
kill
him.
Danny
Yeah.
with Longclaw, I mean, what are we doing here?
I also didn't think that Cersei would just
no,
die
I'm
in a
saying-
pile of rubble, but
Arya's gonna
here we are.
kill Danny with Needle. They keep
That's-
showing Needle.
Yeah, I think
Like,
that would be a
someone's
little
coming back
more.
with Needle.
It's a
Yeah.
good matchup, you know? Little girl versus little girl, basically.
I'll hate
And that dragon, I
I'll
mean,
hate
somebody's
that.
got to, like, unless they kill the dragon.
If
like,
they
what happens to
give,
the
if
dragon?
Arya kills Danny and the Night King, I'll be furious.
She's the goat.
John has to kill somebody.
John, they don't. Everyone keeps saying this. They have to do
I was
this.
gonna say
They
that. I
has
think
to-
that's where you.
Yes!
Get, that's where
Don't
people
say that
get
phrase
disappointed.
anymore.
That's how people get disappointed
Yes,
with
to
this
get your hopes
season.
up.
He
They
has
come
to
in
kill
Somebody,
saying-
someone.
somebody call radio today. I think Arya
It's
is
been
actually
10
dead.
years
and that
of
whole
my
scene
life
was after
of
her
him
death.
being the
Nope,
hero.
Not doing
He
anything.
has to kill somebody.
That's how people go into like, well, they can't. They have to tell us what the Night King wants. They have to tell us what Euron's here for. They have to, yeah.
Yeah, killing bad people makes you a hero. That's exactly what it makes you. Tell Chaps that. Shout out the troops.
You know what makes you a hero? Hitting Game 7 buzzer beater. Fucking only time that's ever happened in the NBA.
Game 7.
Which is kind of semantics because, you know, if you hit a shot with like 0.2 seconds left,
Right,
it's still
yeah.
basically buzzer beater. But I mean, the dramatics of that ball, the quadruple doink, Kawhi showing emotion, everybody getting low, kind of like willing it in. Well, I mean, one of the best shots you'll ever see.
Yeah, and this is like coming 2 weeks after Dame Lillard, another one of
Who
the
did
best
the other
shots
best
I've ever
shot, yeah,
seen.
yeah. I mean, Kawhi is a freak. That whole play, I watched Steve Kerr do like a little sports science breakdown of it, like 4 dribbles with 4 seconds. The fact that it was Embiid means he had to put that arc on
Yeah.
it, which means that's the only way you're going to get that bounce.
Ooh, look
Yeah,
at
I
you,
think,
scientist.
I think he's a fundamentally perfect player. Like
Yeah.
I think he calculates all that shit.
Right,
and,
like they- like-
I think he thinks all that
they-
real time.
No, you don't.
I swear to God.
Really?
Like fundamentally.
I don't know.
He
I
doesn't
don't,
make
I
wasted
think great
movements.
players
Like, when
don't. I don't think they like think it through. I think it just like naturally
That's
comes.
what I'm saying. I think it's just innate. He knows
Yeah.
where he doesn't waste movements. Like how many times have you seen Kawhi just out of position?
Yeah,
He doesn't
you
waste
know,
movement. I think
Steve
he
Kerr was
knows
saying
where to
like
be.
most players, if they get to
Wait,
the
why
wing
was
there.
Steve Kerr getting interviewed?
No, he was just doing like a breakdown. I keep saying Steve Kerr. Fucking who was it? I can't remember the guy doing the. It was like a Sports Center guy. I don't know why I'm calling Steve Kerr. It was he like looks like him.
I was very confused for a second.
He was saying like most players pull up on the wing there, and it was like, but
Right.
Kawhi knows he has like 1 or 2 more dribbles because there's that much time on the clock left. And
Right.
maybe I don't think he's thinking that. I don't think he's saying, all right, I'm gonna go all the way to the corner because I know I have 4 seconds left. But
Right.
he just got a feel for the game
Yeah.
that's just better than most.
I
Drake,
like Kawhi's shirt that he wore into the game. The cool guy. The nice guy.
I didn't see.
What's his shirt say?
A fun guy.
Fun
A
guy? That's funny.
Fun guy.
Yeah, I like that.
Noted fun guy.
That was good.
Yeah, I mean, it took a shot like that for us to finally see some emotion out of him going crazy. I mean, watching the Philly fans, you can break down fans in the crowd or other
Yeah.
players in that shot like for days. Everyone's individual reaction to that shot. That is about as tough as it gets if you're a Sixers fan.
And they get like 1 day off, and it's just like back.
Back
you
to
have to
it.
face a well-rested Giannis now.
Right.
So
No. That's what's funny. It's almost like, like Night King-esque in a way. It's like Giannis is waiting. It's like you guys are all worried about this shit over here, but Giannis
Right.
is coming.
Do you think that Kawhi stays in Toronto?
I don't.
No. Where's he go?
I think he goes to Clippers.
Clippers?
Ooh.
Like I feel like it's one of the things like just keep hearing, and like Paul George, we heard it didn't happen, but LeBron, we heard it and it did happen. So I could see him.
And he's
Do
that
you think
LA
LeBron
lifestyle?
gets traded? I saw that this weekend.
I don't think he does.
No.
I can't see
Mike
it.
Francesa was saying
I
to
can't see
trade
it.
the #1 pick for LeBron.
If the Knicks get the number one pick,
pick.
What would
They should
you?
trade
What do you think?
LeBron.
I
Doesn't
wouldn't.
seem like a great idea to me.
I wouldn't.
No, I would not either.
You keep
Who
keep
would
the
you
good
trade the
guy.
number 1 pick for?
Ooh.
If you guys signed, who would you like? What player would
I mean, it would have to be like Giannis. It would have to be someone who's like equally as young
Embiid?
and impactful. I don't think so.
you? Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like
Because you know
Embiid?
why?
You
Because he
think
was crying
Zion
with his
over
girlfriend.
Embiid?
That's
I think
no
so.
more than fair.
That was crazy. I have no problem with him crying. His girlfriend openly weeping with him, doing like schmoopy kissy face and rubbing his head and like.
You had me thinking
Right.
I was going to see something ridiculous.
That
I
was
saw
pretty
two
ridiculous.
people like kind of in
I've
love.
never seen that before. Your girlfriend? I mean, who is this girl? She's probably been dating her for like 20 minutes. What
But
are we doing
they
here?
were just
She's a big Sixers fan.
they're sharing emotion.
I think it's very strange for your girlfriend to be crying like that.
I found that very romantic.
You're such a
I had to ask you if I was watching the right video.
Yeah,
Like,
that
this
was
is what
weird.
we're talking
I
about?
mean, Joel Embiid crying, fine. For
First of all, I
for
didn't see- I didn't
your
see, like, the
Instagram
tears.
girlfriend to be like
Which I do think now,
overcome.
Like, because he's a big jokester, I do think because he cried, they're gonna heat him up. Like, just the next time he laughs at Andre Drummond or some shit like that.
Remember when you were crying with your
get him
girl
out
in
of
the
it.
corner?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good look for someone who runs their mouth a lot.
Yeah.
The other, Drake wearing the Sixers shorts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kind of poking fun at the Drake curse. The only thing you can do if you're Drake at this point is lean into it.
That's
Because
very
it's
funny.
so fucking true. I mean, the
That's just playing both
evidence
sides.
is
That's just smart
overwhelming.
math.
Yeah. Yeah. Very smart dude there.
It's also like, if I was Drake and you tried to hit me with like some Drake curse stuff, I would just repost that video of the 767 or whatever he just bought.
You saw that? I mean, that
I'm like, I don't fucking care.
that's the most.
This is my plane.
It's the most
I don't give a
ridiculous
shit what you
purchase
think
of all time.
about the sports teams I root for.
Like, I
look
took it to the store
Look at my
today.
plane. It says
Yeah.
Air Drake on the side of it.
When you're in another field, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, yeah, I guess my sports teams don't win, but I make
Right.
hit records.
I'm
like,
I'm
fucking
very
cares?
rich.
Yeah, super rich. In the Western Conference, good game. Our boy CJ McCollum went off.
Yeah, he did.
Tough to win on the road, Game 7. So hats off to the Trailblazers. So now you got a weird. I mean, having
shame.
Portland, Milwaukee, Toronto in the mix along with the Warriors. Is
That's
a
crazy.
Strange mix.
I hadn't heard it spelled out like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you think that matters? I don't think that matters anymore.
I don't, but I like it's new blood on each side.
Yeah,
like,
I think
I like
what
it,
matters
yeah.
is the superstars. Like,
Yeah.
so you're gonna watch Giannis, Kawhi, Dame Lillard,
and Steph Curry and
the
Durant,
Warriors. So like,
yeah.
if it was Boston, LA, and Miami, like fine, sure, but
Yeah.
maybe a little bit better. But I don't think anyone's gonna be like, I'm not watching Milwaukee. You're turning into watch Giannis.
Right.
You know.
Do
No,
people
yeah.
like Coley? I'm gonna ask a Patriots fan. Do you like the Warriors?
Yeah,
I love the Warriors.
big fan.
Just greatness.
Love them.
I mean, that was some weird shit with Steph.
They're so
That-
amazing. I mean, it's amazing. They're the best.
Well, what's funny
Makes
when everybody
love
basically
the
penciled in that
you
game
long
7.
half. You long half
it's
love
just
Warriors.
like seeing perfection like that is I couldn't send a tweet. I was gonna make fun of Steph because he was hamming it up with the finger thing on Friday night, and I was gonna send a tweet making fun of it. And before I could do that, he scored like 12 points.
Yep.
Like I didn't finish typing the tweet. Like 12
I don't
points.
think
I'm like,
there
there you go.
cannot have ever been a game that you had 0 points in the first half and 30 plus in the second half.
21
that
in the
is
fourth.
Absolutely ridiculous. It's funny because when you lose Durant, it's like, oh my God, they're gonna lose now. It's like, okay, well we just went back to our first dynasty team.
Yeah.
Right.
Like really.
Oh, yeah, this team's won a championship too. We're
Yeah.
good.
I do think like they've never had to use this stuff like Game 7. This is the second round. They've never been pushed this hard before. Like
Yeah, well that's
before
why
the
it
third
sucks for
round.
teams like the Celtics and the Sixers and like this. If
The
there was
bad
ever a
teams,
year, it's probably now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think it'll be cool to see the, because Dame had that quote, right, where Dame said that, like, I'll never join a super team. I want, like, this is the town I want to win it, and blah, blah, blah. I think that'll be cool to have him versus super team. That's a fun
Do you give that a
storyline.
shot at all?
I probably won't watch many of the
The
games,
Blazers-
but it'll be
I
fun.
watched
the highlights.
Have they said about
Probably.
Durant? Like, do they?
He's out game 1,
That's what I-
probably out game 2.
Oh boy.
See that? Like, if Portland can get one, go back home for 2. Like, anything can happen. But
What do you got in the East, Giannis?
Look, I root for the Warriors.
nah, I
they're
think it'll be
the
Warriors in
Patriots. They're
5.
not gonna win.
I picked Raptors beginning. I just think they have like the most talent and experience. I think it'll be Raptors Warriors
It's a
final.
weird year, man. Strange bunch. Celtics are not in it, Coley. Did you know that? The Celtics got bounced.
That fucking team sucks. I watched fucking 10 minutes of them. Fuck that team.
Bad.
Why'd you watch? What do you had 10 minutes?
I
to do
watched
anything
the
better?
elimination game, whatever game that was, 5.
Why would you tune in then?
Of
all the games to game 1,
I was watching.
Catch, Johnny.
I was watching the Zac Efron Ted Bundy
Well,
movie.
naturally.
Oh, okay.
And
There's
Zac
your
Efron's
answer,
a
man.
It ended, and I was like, I got to put something on, put on that basketball game. Fuck that team.
A far more gory experience watching this year's Celtics.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Wrapping up in the NBA, wrapping up things here. Porzingis getting he leaking in his hometown.
That's no.
You're 7'3". You're still getting beat up somehow. What a fall from grace from my man.
Did you hear
KP.
why they said it was, sir?
No.
They said it was folks who were mad like he left the Knicks.
Russians.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Russians who are mad.
Yeah.
Wow. All right,
Russians
I'm gonna give him a little
been
more slack.
fucking-
I don't fuck with Russians.
Yo,
No.
Russians are fucking wild.
Yeah,
They
once
really
they said,
are.
I was like, it makes sense how you, like a 7'3" man's bleeding. Everybody else would have to jump up, but Russians?
Russians.
My,
I'm not
my,
asking any
I
questions.
mean, how do you get your face torn up when you're 8 feet tall?
my favorite tweet I saw about that was this motherfucker 7'3", and he's bleeding in the face. He got beat up by Inspector Gadget, which is, I mean, just very funny.
Not a good look for
That's
him.
Who's
very
like
funny.
did the Rangers have like a base, like Dak got his ass beat, Porzingis got his ass beat, like somebody coming for the Rangers or the Dallas Stars, like
Just complete
yeah,
the
just
trifecta.
whoever the
Yeah.
best player is.
Not a good look, man.
Dak, that was a while ago at spring break, though, right?
Oh, yeah,
Or
no.
was that more recent?
It
Yeah.
was he was in college.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was like his
I
last
bet-
year. I think senior year of college.
I'd believe
so.
it happened again. Dak's the
I'd hope
guy
not.
you could beat up. Cole, you could beat him up.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
We got Dak Prescott.
All right, that's the rundown. Trill's in town all week. We'll be filming from the hallways of the new office because apparently,
I'm taking one of those teams.
Big lottery
Good.
tomorrow.
what's that? Big-
Lottery show tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Find out who
lottery
gets
pick. We'll be
Zion.
doing a little electric chair action
Like the whole
to watch
office.
Zion come to the Knicks.
And get
We'll
traded
have
for,
the so
LeBron
yeah for
James.
LeBron
Yeah.
James. We'll have the Suns out, Guns out movement will be in full force. A lot of teams here are unfortunately well represented in the lottery, so there'll be a lot of people watching with the
All of
fate.
Tyler's teams are.
And
their
in the playoffs,
history
too.
hanging in the balance.
We got the Chicago guys coming up too, which I did not know.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Chicago guys are coming in for the NBA draft?
They're coming here. They just happen to also be here.
Well, not
Hey,
even the
Snowden
draft, the
Suns
lottery, bro.
enthusiast Jared Carrabba.
Yeah, no, he's literally
Jerry Downtown.
He's literally showing me his son's blog that he has
Jerry Buckets.
typed out and
Just a
ready
picture
to,
of a
ready to
son.
post.
Anything
Yeah.
else?
That's right.
Oh, by the way, the Game of Thrones stuff. I saw how
on
many
Phoenix.
people named their kids after Game of Thrones. It was a handful of people naming
boy.
their kids Daenerys.
Oh,
I
It's
was-
a dumb look now. It's like
I
your
was
kid's been
very
named after a
disappointed
fucking-
with how many names. It was very few names.
A lot of Arias though, like several
I can
thousand.
see
It was like
Wow.
2,000 Arias, but like everything
That's a
else was
lot.
like 100.
Yeah, but
There
if
are
you-
like there
How
are
many
thousands
Daenerys
of
are
dumb
there?
people in this world.
yeah,
in
if
this
you name
country.
your kid Danny though, like hey, that was some other Daenerys. That wasn't the one
Right,
that
yeah, that
born
was
those
3
kids
seasons
alive.
ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was fake. All right, that's it. See you tomorrow. From the hallway.
Bye.